Kim and I have been together for over 30 years, but we started from scratch. People believe she joined me because of my fortune, but that's not true. At that time, I was involved in business and ended up losing my second venture. This not only left me without resources, but also left us with a lot of debt, dealing with a total of 800. Folks, before we continue with this video, if you're enjoying our content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Every new subscription makes a big difference. Leave a like if you appreciated the video and of course share it on social media. Let's spread this positive energy together. I'm counting on you, okay? Continuing. It was a valuable learning experience, and in the end we managed to pay everything off. Now when it comes to paying off your debts as quickly as possible, many suggest cutting up credit cards, but I think that's really absurd. Credit cards aren't the problem. In fact, I really like them. Pay attention until the end of this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more informative and interesting content. Let's start with the steps to get out of debt. The first step is to be honest with yourself. I believe this is one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do. Kim has never faced financial difficulties like I did. She couldn't believe someone could drive a Mercedes and be completely broke, pretending to be rich until actually achieving wealth. Do you understand? I was praying to God, Jesus, and Buddha, hoping money would come, acting as if I had no debts. I looked impeccable, dined at the best restaurants, but I was broke. You can fool your girlfriends, but you can't fool your wife. So the first thing I had to do with Kim was finally tell the truth, that I wasn't as rich as I seemed. That was the reality. You need to be honest with yourself, because if you have a goal of where you want to go, you won't reach it if you don't know where you are. Have you ever imagined uncovering the secrets of the brightest minds in the world without any effort? It may sound unbelievable, but it's now a reality with our kit of 100 summarized books, which includes audiobooks and PDFs of the most valuable parts. Learning has become more accessible than ever. Don't miss this opportunity. Get your kit by clicking the first link in the description. The second step is to stop taking out loans immediately. Sometimes this means making small sacrifices. When Kim and I moved from Hawaii to California, we were without a home and lived in the attic of an apartment. Sometimes we had to save because we didn't have money. Kim had about $10 to last the weekend until I got home on Sunday night. The third step is to make a list of all your debts. The key word is all. Some looked at me with suspicion when I mentioned the word all, because they had multiple debts and didn't want to admit it. I continued to avoid and pay off taxes here and there, but eventually she questioned why I didn't want to reveal how serious the situation was. We finished my last deal, and finally, we needed to sit down and list all the investors I owed money to, as well as all the family and friends I was indebted to. I felt bad for not having settled it sooner. Then she made me sit down and put everything on paper. Moreover, a credit card company can really become a problem when you don't pay. I had to show the taxes I was receiving and basically tell the truth and face the situation. The fourth step is crucial. If you are deeply in debt, it's probably one of the most important steps you need to take and commit to: hiring an accountant. There were times I tried to manage my own financial records, but when I was stressed, ashamed, and upset about owing so much money, I didn't confront reality. Additionally, I felt disorganized and didn't have much skill for details. So Kim and I finally sought out my rich dad, and he advised us to hire an accountant. At first, I thought it would be costly, but my rich dad told me that rich people have accountants, while poor people don't keep proper records. This is the fifth step. Once you have a list of all your debts, you will create a visual representation of these obligations. Simply put, in the top left corner of the board, you will write the creditor's name. For example, for my credit account. In the top right corner, you will note the total debt. In the bottom left corner, you will indicate the minimum monthly payment that must be made. And in the bottom right corner, you will divide the total debt by the monthly payments. For example, in the line for the credit account, you will note a minimum of 100 Rs per month, with a total debt of 2,000 Rs. This means it will take 20 months to eliminate that debt, as the total debt divided by the minimum monthly payment equals 20. For each debt you have, you will create this visual representation and review it daily to know how many months it will take to pay off each one. It's crucial to refer to your workbook to keep everything clear. When Ken and I met, we had nothing. It took 10 steps from nothing to financial freedom. She was 37 and I was 47. That's the power of focusing on assets instead of liabilities. Most people are so busy working for money, trying to pay their bills and acquiring more. Liabilities that believe they are assets. The first gift I offered Ken was teaching him about this. And today, we are financially free. Anyone can achieve this. It just takes having the right mindset. We met in 1973 when I took my first real estate investment course. I lost money and regained it, but I never set aside the assets. Many people can't earn $1,000, and the reason is that mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, they are not ready to receive that amount. Ken and I are generating several $1 million, but we wouldn't have gotten here if we hadn't solved our issues. To progress whenever we faced a challenge, we needed to rise above it. Many people with $1,000 problems won't solve them until they develop personally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically to be superior to the $1,000. The sixth step is to establish the order in which you will pay off each debt. This is where the small circular number comes in. You will start with the lowest circle number you have. Sometimes people ask if they shouldn't pay off the debts with the highest interest rates first. With this approach, what you want is to see results quickly to prove that it works. So we start with the shortest debt you have, the one that can be paid off the fastest. When you see that result and realize the formula is working, you'll be motivated to continue. That's why we start with the smaller number. As the saying goes, it's not about paying interest, but about how quickly you can settle. When we look at the average person, they have a job, receive money, pay for a house, and that money goes to a bank through a mortgage. This is not an asset because money is going out, thus becoming a liability. The definition of a liability is that it takes money out of your pocket, while an asset puts money in it. Therefore, if I have a rental property, it puts money in my pocket. If I live in a house, it's a liability because even without debt, I still have taxes, depreciation, repairs, maintenance, insurance, and other expenses. But if I rent a property and acquire it, well, every month it sends me money. I started with this at 25 years old. I had a small condominium property that brought me $25. It was a start and a beneficial debt. The debt canceled itself while putting money in my pocket, so I was profiting from my little house every month. Today, my wife and I own 6,500 houses that put money in our pockets monthly. The people living in those houses are happy because they have a place to live. ISO arises from debt. We have 100% financing. Everything is debt. Therefore, this is the debt. And what makes a debt positive are three very relevant expressions. Cash flow. We become financially independent instead of falling into debt or simply spending borrowed money on anything. But, like in the case of Rich Dad and Poor Dad, we participate in the cash flow game. What we do is invest that capital. In this case, with all that money, instead of spending it, we continue acquiring more properties and securities. Basically, we use debt to generate income and pay off our obligations. Currently, Kim and I own 7 vehicles, several residences, and we travel by private jet. But all of this is done with the cash flow from our investments, not with our credit cards. We have no debt, only constant income from our investments. Thus, our assets exceed our liabilities. The reason many people initially face difficulties is that they acquire liabilities first and then try to acquire assets. This never works, and they keep buying more and more things, accumulating bad debt. On the other hand, I acquire my liabilities with my assets so that I can enjoy a prosperous lifestyle. The best part is that we don't have to worry about money or anything else, because we simply have more and more money coming in consistently. This process requires discipline and commitment. Remember, it's a journey from the current situation to the desired destination. Without dedication and discipline, the process can crumble. I encourage you to share this with everyone around you to awaken them to reality. The key to financial success is focusing on generating multiple sources of income. We're not talking about one, but several income streams. As we educate ourselves financially, we develop an entrepreneurial mindset and generate business ideas to earn revenue. At first, we must pay attention to spending and where our money is going. Much of our way of thinking and managing our money comes from our past. In 99% of cases, our journey in the financial world starts with a job and reliance on a salary. However, if we are financially savvy enough, that job and salary, which for many is a disadvantage, can, if managed properly, generate capital. You can generate capital like a seed to start making profits and developing businesses. Therefore, the ideas we will present in this video to reduce expenses could be the beginning of a world filled with infinite opportunities for you. You just need to learn to manage your money. These are just a few suggestions. You should adapt the ideas to your own reality and complement them with your own reflections to make them more impactful. Many people make the mistake of shopping motivated by promotions, mistakenly believing they are saving money. But the truth is that in a promotion, only the money changes hands and ownership. Being rich or poor depends on the trajectory the money takes. If, most of the time, money is coming into your account, then you are definitely on the path to achieving financial freedom. There is a common expression among low-income people that says, if you never go into debt, you will never achieve anything. We are certain that few phrases generate as much poverty and economic slavery as this one. The reason this statement is so damaging is that when we buy on credit, we pay compound interest. This compound interest enriches those who receive it and impoverishes those who pay it. For the payer, compound interest can represent 2 or 3 times the original purchase amount, while for the receiver, it represents a benefit of 2 or 3 times the original selling price. Thus, who pays and who charges the compound interest determines who becomes poorer and who becomes richer. Another common mistake is acquiring electronic devices that will not be used. These devices are designed to make our lives easier, but the worst thing someone who doesn't know how to manage their finances can do is buy an unnecessary electronic item and not use it. Doing so is literally wasting hard-earned money on something that will likely just gather dust in your home. Additionally, many brands do not add value or quality to your life. The only thing they do is inflate the prices of products 3 or 4 times, simply for being trendy brands. Therefore, buy what you really need, what is useful, or what brings you comfort, but avoid purchasing items just because of the brand. I have known many lower and middle-class people who have more money invested in clothing than the bank assets of a wealthy person. Another expense to avoid is smoking. Besides the negative impact on health, smoking also affects your finances. Just do the math with your country's currency. A pack of cigarettes in Spain can cost between 4 and 5 euros. If you smoke a pack a day, that would cost you between 120 and 150 euros per month. In a year, you would spend between 1,440 and 1,800 euros. Over 10 years, that amount reaches 14,400 to 18,000 euros. Spending 320 euros might seem sensible, but in 50 years, that would turn into 21,600 euros. Most people spend much more than that, and the impact on personal finances is therefore much greater than assumed. When it comes to habitual vices, shopping stands out as one of the biggest pastimes for low-income individuals and wage earners, especially on payday. 2 situations arise when you visit a mall. First, you waste time that could be spent reading, learning, training, and growing. Second, being in a mall makes you an easy target for impulse purchases. Impulse buying refers to acquiring something you don't need, simply to feel the satisfaction of owning something new. You might feel special through these purchases. The wealthy continue to thrive because they sell a lot, while the poor become increasingly indebted due to overspending. It's common to find a large television in the home of a low-income person relative to their earnings. In contrast, a wealthy person's home might feature a vast library proportional to their income. The television often becomes the primary educational tool for the poor and the middle class, who are instructed through soap operas, reality shows, sports, beauty contests, and commercials, and then wonder why their earnings are so low. Buying smartphones on credit is another example. While smartphones offer numerous applications and tools, most people only use about 5% of their functionalities, such as WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and taking photos. It's alarming to see someone earning minimum wage buried in debt or trapped in the rat race for having purchased an expensive phone on credit. Additionally, going to nightclubs can lead to excessive spending. The abuse of nights out and parties can undermine the chances of achieving the desired life. If the money spent on events and parties between the ages of 18 and 30 had been invested, even partially, it's likely that by age 30 one would have accumulated wealth. Buying a new car is another trap. A car is a luxury unless it's used to generate income. A new car loses about 25% of its value as soon as it leaves the dealership and depreciates by around 45% after 3 months. It's essential to consider that an employee mindset can lead to risky investments such as purchasing a new car without being surprised by the depreciation. Meanwhile, a 45% drop in the stock market can generate panic. Finally, dining at restaurants is a warning aimed especially at the middle class, often indebted and burdened with liabilities, who spend considerable amounts on meals out. Frequenting restaurants can represent a loss of money that could be invested in something more productive. Opportunities to accumulate wealth are essential. It is crucial to analyze and consider whether dining out expenses are truly indispensable in daily life. The focus should be on conscious spending, as true financial prosperity comes from growing and diversifying income. By reducing expenses, it is possible to increase the capacity to invest and accumulate wealth. Financial discipline is vital to seize opportunities and enhance spending power, contributing to the creation of a robust financial foundation. Examining each expense individually and assessing the necessity of keeping it in your routine are critical steps for efficient financial management. Ask yourself if these expenses are really worth it. Reflect on the relevance of these expenditures in your life and whether they hold true significance for you. If you realize they serve only to impress others without adding real value, consider eliminating them. Many expenses, especially those mentioned earlier, are completely unnecessary and can be classified as drip expenses, small, frequent, and repetitive costs that significantly impact our finances and our financial future. Just as a boat doesn't sink because it's cut in half, but due to a single hole through which water enters drop by drop, our personal finances can face similar issues if we don't control these small financial leaks. Even if we have the ability to invest and negotiate, our finances can still falter. Therefore, it is vital to learn to manage expenses, not necessarily eliminating all at once, but especially focusing on those mentioned earlier and any others that have slipped out of control. Once you have mastery over these expenses, channel all your energy, creativity, and intelligence into building income sources, increasing your earnings, enhancing your talent, and improving your financial intelligence. The most important thing is to put your earnings on autopilot, allowing you to generate income consistently. Focus all your energy on this project, but remain vigilant about potential financial leaks. Control your spending and concentrate on generating income. I hope you found this video wonderful. Remember, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. See you next time.